Are you frustrated because you can't figure out how to get your videos seen by more people? You're probably making 3 massive mistakes that wreck 90% of videos on YouTube. In this video, I'm going to show you what those 3 mistakes are and how to fix them for your very next video. But in order for this to work, you have to do what I'm about to show you before you record your video. This is the same strategy I've been using to grow my channel and my views over the last few weeks. And this is day 21 of my YouTube challenge. If you would like to follow along to help you grow your channel, just go to my YouTube challenge playlist and all the videos are right there. Now, before we get to these massive mistakes and how to fix them, we need to look at how videos get views. And to do that, we're going to open up Netflix. Because Netflix is similar to YouTube's homepage. You see a bunch of thumbnails, one grabs your attention, you get curious, you click on it, you watch 30 seconds of a trailer of an episode, and then you decide if you're going to keep watching. Guess how long a person spends on a thumbnail before they decide whether they're going to click on it? According to Netflix, 1.8 seconds. That's it. And that brings me to massive mistake number 1. I want you to look at the thumbnails on Netflix. See how simple they are and how easy they are to read? Just like the thumbnails of the huge channels on YouTube. Simple, easy to read. But that is not the case for videos that don't get a lot of views. I want you to look at this channel that is from someone who is participating in this YouTube challenge with us. And she has a great channel full of decorating ideas. But this latest thumbnail on the teal pumpkin is exactly what I'm talking about because it's hard to read. The fonts are hard to read and there's a lot going on in this thumbnail. Compared to thumbnails of bigger channels or even thumbnails of some of her own videos that got a lot of views, this thumbnail is a lot busier. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If we go just to a month ago on Teal Pumpkin, look at this thumbnail and how much easier it is to read. And it has home goods in it, which is a very popular store for people who are into home decor. So that stands out to the viewer and gets them wanting to go to the title at that point. So how do we make these thumbnails simple? We need to be mindful of how many words are in the thumbnail. I try to keep mine to no more than 4 words. You also want to make sure there's not too many colors in the thumbnail. I try to keep my thumbnails to 3 colors max. You also want to be mindful of what's going on in the thumbnail. If it is too busy and hard for people to really take in what's going on in the thumbnail in that 1.8 seconds that we have, then they're going to move on and click on another video. What's great about this mistake is you can actually fix it after you have published your video. So let's say we want to change the thumbnail of the Teal Pumpkins video, and we know that it's going to be about fall living room decor ideas. So let's go do a search on fall living room ideas. Boom. We already have some great examples of how she could simplify this thumbnail. Right here, warm fall vibe. See? 3 words. Yes, there are words at the bottom, but that's not what grabbed our attention. The bold words of warm fall vibe grabbed our attention. Those words were super easy to read. Then if we keep going, fall living room. Again, really easy for us to see those words. And then we see a beautiful fall living room. That makes us want to move on to the title. The second mistake happens after they look at the thumbnail. So let's say your thumbnail did grab their attention. Now their eyes are going down to the title. In order for that title to get them to click, the title has to make them ask a question. Something like, can I do that? What happens next? How did they do that? If they don't ask a question, then they're not curious enough to click on the video. Let's go to another channel that's participating in this YouTube challenge. This is Christy, and her latest video, the thumbnail reads, End of Summer and Fall Projects Knitting Podcast number 51. So we have a lot of words in there. We even have different fonts going on, which also makes it harder for us to read in 1.8 seconds. And it doesn't really tell us much. It says end of summer, fall projects, but the podcast is about knitting. The video is about knitting. We don't see knitting in the thumbnail, so I don't know if that would grab her ideal viewer's attention in 1.8 seconds. But assuming it did, then we go down to the title, Knitting Through Summer's End Cozy Projects for Fall. Does it make us ask a question like, how did she do that? Or can I do that? Not really. But if we go to Christy's most popular videos, she does this really well. Look at this. We don't even have words on this thumbnail because you don't even need them. She is simply showing you the final step in what this video is about, which would be a step that her ideal viewer would want to know how to do. How to sew finish a lined sleeveless dress. So that gets us curious. Can I do that? How did she do that? That makes us want to click on the video if we are wanting to learn how to finish a lined sleeveless dress. The next part and the next big mistake people make is what happens once the person clicks on the video. Remember how in Netflix we click on an episode when we've never watched this show before and we watch a short portion of one of the episodes to decide if we're going to keep watching? That is similar to what happens on YouTube. We click on that video and then we decide if we want to keep watching. So how do we make sure they want to keep watching? You've got to avoid this mistake right here. Now we are on the channel The Russ Ride, also participating in our challenge. And I want to look at Russ's latest video. The thumbnail reads 2 hidden risks. So it's not really grabbing the ideal viewer, which in his case is an Uber Eats driver. It doesn't really tell us what this video is about. And yes, we see him in his car, but if we've never seen Russ before, we don't know that this is about Uber Eats. Now, if we do go down to the title, Unlocking the Secret, is double food delivery the best hack? That's not bad. It does make you ask a question if you even get to the title at that point. But what really makes this video lose its views is what happens when we first click on it. Watch this.
Hello drivers and welcome. I'm so glad you found me. Have you ever done a stacked order on any of the food delivery apps, most notably on Uber Eats? So a couple things to consider. Is that a good idea? And what are the potential consequences?
Okay, so it took us 15 seconds before he got to Uber Eats and before he got to a double stack order, which are the two things this viewer would care the most about. Because Russ introduces himself and he welcomes himself, then he asks a question, but he doesn't really make that person want to watch the video, because I watched the whole video and I know what the risks are if you were to go and take a double order. So what Russ could have done is gotten rid of the welcome, gotten rid of the introduction, and immediately put that Uber Eats up there so they recognize that logo and say, Uber Eats drivers, before you go take a double order, you need to know that you could risk losing money and getting a bad customer review. Now let's go to Russ's most viewed video. By going to popular, we can see he got 52,000 views on this. Look at the thumbnail. First time Uber Eats shop and pay. Immediately he is screaming to his ideal person. He's got that Uber Eats logo up there, which is very recognizable. And he also has a look of distress, which is emotion. And that also will help people pay attention to your thumbnail. Then we go to the title and it says, my first Uber Eats shop and pay order, how it went. And even though this is about Russ, someone they may not know, which they wouldn't because this is one of his very first videos, it still makes them want to click because it makes them ask the question, ooh, how did his first pay and order with Uber Eats go? And they click on the video. And then what? Dogs. Why do we have dogs in here? Okay, bye. I'm pretty sure he heard me say eats and he thought it was mealtime, but no, it's 2 hours from now. Okay, let's keep going. So we click on the video and this is what happens.
Buddy, I'm doing my first Uber Eats shop and pay order. How do you think it's going? Well, stick around and I'll share more, the good and the bad.
Boom! He did it. The reason this video did so well for Russ is because the thumbnail and the title grabbed people's attention, got them curious. Then we go to the video. That ideal viewer wants to watch more because Russ not only said, yes, this is the right video after you clicked on this thumbnail and title, he's also saying, and this is what you're gonna learn in the video. So by previewing what they're gonna get, that gets them more excited and makes them wanna watch longer. But the reason that you have to do these 3 things before you hit record is it's gonna be a lot harder for you to make an enticing thumbnail, a really good title, and the first 30 seconds of your video that all go together if you're doing it in reverse. Now that you know how to grab people's attention with your thumbnail and get them watching the first 30 seconds of your video, you've got to figure out how you're going to keep them watching your video. And I break down that strategy in this video right here.